Hello, I am Sophie Cote from FlagFranchise. It is my pleasure to present part 2 of the first module in our toolbox designed for franchisees. Now that we've talked about the definition and the main types of franchising, I also thought it might be important for you to have a better understanding of the main fees charged by franchisors and especially why these fees are justified. The franchise fee. The initial fee paid by the franchisee to the franchisor in exchange for the right to operate a franchise unit or a branch under the franchisor's name. This amount varies greatly depending on the franchisor, from as little as $5,000 to up to $100,000. There is no common standard other than the correlation between the value of the franchise and the amount of the franchise fee. Determining the value of a franchise can be complex. It depends on a number of factors such as the brand awareness, reputation with customers, effectiveness of its management processes, quality of agreements with suppliers, services, and support provided by the franchisor, etc. The initial investment. This includes leasehold improvements, equipment, inventory. This cost also vary depending on the concept. It is the total estimated cost for establishing the business, including design, construction, leasehold improvements, equipment, inventory, etc. Down payment. If we add the initial investment costs and the franchise fee, the total amount can be hefty in some cases. And as you start your business, there are other costs and expenses to consider. The franchisee must plan for a sufficient amount of money, cash at hand, for expenses during the startup period in the first months of operation. Usually, the franchisor can provide an approximation of the average amount required. In short, while some future franchisees could have saved the entire amount, most of them will have to resort to borrowing a portion of the amount of money needed. Some franchisors will also specify a minimum liquid cash requirement or a percentage of the total investment cost for those who want to open one of their franchises as proof of commitment, financial strength, and seriousness of intentions, which is the down payment. For more information on the subject, I invite you to view Module 6 on financial aspects of starting a franchise business. The royalty fee. Do you remember that when I gave the definition of franchising, I referred to the right granted by the franchisor to the franchisee to run a franchise business under the franchisor's name in return of a certain compensation? The compensation in question includes the one-time initial franchise fee that we talked about, an ongoing royalty payment, which is an amount of money that the franchisee pays to the franchisor on a regular basis in exchange for the use of the franchisor's trademark, methods, processes, etc. It can be calculated as a percentage of either the franchisee's gross sales or revenue, usually from sales, ranging from 2 to 3% up to 7, 8, 9%. The exact amount varies from one franchisor to another and depends on the value of the franchise. It may also be set as a fixed fee payable monthly, quarterly, or more often quickly. Advertising fee. The franchisor must advertise and promote the brand on the entire territory where the franchisees operate. Franchisees are required to pay for local marketing initiatives to drive customers to their locations, and franchisors with a network of sufficient size are responsible for marketing campaigns across the entire territory. When the franchisor takes on national marketing strategies, the franchisees would be charged an additional percentage of gross sales as a contribution to the franchise system's advertising fund. Advertising fees can range from 1 to 3%. The fund is typically established to market and advertise the brand on the national scale. There are strong benefits to pooling such advertising contributions. It allows the franchisor to be more effective in executing advertising and marketing initiatives to reinforce brand awareness, which in return serves the interest of all the franchisees in the network. Individually, the franchisees would not have the financial means to afford the same impact. That's the beauty of franchising, combining resources for the good of everyone in the network. In some cases, other fees may apply, such as markups on products, real estate markups, etc. These fees are used to offset the expenses paid to various service providers and can include experts' fees, the franchisor's time to negotiate agreements with suppliers, support and assistance provided by the franchisor, etc. Our FlagFranchise business matching tool compares the information in your profile with the requirements of the registered franchisor to identify the best franchise fit for you, which means that the accuracy of data is of great importance. You must enter your actual budget, the realistic amount that you can invest. Don't enter an amount of money that you do not have at hand or that you can't access through loans. Why? Well, if the amount in your profile is much higher than your actual investment capacity, your FlagFranchise business compatibility report will be inaccurate, showing higher compatibility with banners that are simply not right for you. On the other hand, entering an amount that is much lower than your actual financial situation may cause an issue too, since that will limit the number of identified business opportunities available to you. So the best route here would be to stay realistic and true to facts, including, of course, your borrowing capacity. Besides, it doesn't mean that you must invest it all. In fact, as soon as your profile is complete, you will see a list of available business opportunities with corresponding compatibility ratings. You can then review them and select the one or the ones for further consideration. After you send your application, you'll have an opportunity to talk with the franchisor to decide if you want to proceed officially. Remember, FlagFranchise keeps all your data strictly confidential. Franchisors will not have access to any of the information you enter in the questionnaire. They will only receive a compatibility report and a color-coded chart to show your compatibility on each analysis criteria, such as budget, skills, affinities, territory, desired lifestyle, etc. You'll see an example of such compatibility report at the end of this module. Note that in the FlagFranchise questionnaire section, on your financial situation, you should include the value of your assets and liabilities or debts in order to calculate your net worth, which is the amount by which assets exceed liabilities. This is needed because most franchisors set a minimum net worth requirement. Once again, your information is kept strictly confidential. Our FlagFranchise tool only uses this data to compare your net worth with the requirements of each franchisor in our database. The actual value of your assets and liabilities will not be disclosed. However, you should keep in mind that eventually you'll be asked to share this information with the franchisor or your choice if you want to be granted the right to operate a franchise under the franchisor's brand. If you skip this question in your FlagFranchise profile, your net worth will show as nil, which will certainly limit the number of business opportunities listed on your dashboard. Most franchisors require candidates to have either a positive net worth, in other words, more assets than debts, or a specific minimum net worth, for example, $50,000 or even $150,000, which means that you must have $50,000 or $150,000 more in asset value than the value of all your debts. For information on the subject, read our blogs. So far, we've discussed the concept of franchising, talked about various terms used in the context of franchising, and understood the costs associated with it. Now let's see which industry sectors are available for franchising. The franchising business model is gaining popularity, with new sectors joining in. However, a large number of franchisees are in the food and restaurant business, automotive industry, as well as pharmacy chains, grocery stores, retail business, and various types of entertainment and recreation activities. In recent years, we've seen a growing number of new franchising sectors emerging, for example, sports, training, health and supplements, professional services such as finance, consulting, instruction, guidance, training, as well as marketing and communication. There are also franchises in entertainment, activity centers for children, teenagers and adults, video and game stores, etc. The construction industry is also very popular, which includes new construction, home improvement, renovation, etc. And finally, education, schooling, to name a few. When you fill out your Flag franchise profile, we strongly recommend that you select all business sectors that you might be interested in, not just the ones where you have a background, training, or experience. Why? Because many franchisors don't require any particular education or previous experience. They provide their franchisees with initial and ongoing training, which means that more franchise opportunities become available. Let our tool do the searching and sorting for you, and maybe even surprise you with the franchise opportunities that are available to you. You never know. You may fall in love with the franchising concept in a business sector that is absolutely new to you. Remember, we are here to guide you. We can discuss the business sectors that you are interested in, as well as talk about franchising available. And if needed, we could even contact franchisors who are not currently registered with FlagFranchise to see if they would like to join our platform, thus allowing you to validate your compatibility report with them. Finally, here is an example of a compatibility report prepared by FlagFranchise. It is your perfect tool to view and sort the best franchise opportunities available to you, and later, if you choose to apply, the franchisor may use it as a starting point for discussions with you to see if it is the right decision for both of you. This report shows the percentage of compatibility with the brand, as well as a color-coded chart of your compatibility of each of the 7 evaluation criteria. Green means that your answers are perfectly consistent with the requirements of the franchisor. Yellow, your answers are somewhat consistent with the franchisor's requirement. And red, your answers don't match the expectations of the franchisor. Depending on the specific criterion, yellow or even red may not be the end of it. What matters is the number of criteria that got yellow or red and their weight in the overall value. The important thing is to discuss it with the franchisor. A minimum compatibility of 70% is a good no-good gauge to consider before applying for a franchise. However, if the budget criterion is red, it means that you don't have sufficient financial means to get and run this franchise. Unless you know that in your profile you entered a number that is lower than your actual investment capacity, which is not recommended, applying for this franchise would be a waste of time for both you and the franchisor. Sure, asking your friends to lend you money or borrowing from your financial institution is always a possibility. So this is the kind of report you'll see for every franchise offer that you are compatible with, as well as a description of the franchise, the size of the network in the chain, the royalty fees, and other pertinent information. I also invite you to view the other modules in this toolbox: pros and cons of franchising, franchise entrepreneurs, choosing your franchisor, step-by-step franchise guide, financing your franchise business, franchise agreement and legal aspects, selecting your franchise location. The total price for the other 7 modules is $500, a value of more than $1,500. Email to info@flagfranchise.com to place your order. The toolbox is offered free of charge to all entrepreneurs registered with FlagFranchise. Once you sign up and complete your profile, if not done yet, we'll send you modules 2 to 8. Before I conclude this module, here is the information about the dictionary and lexicon on franchising I talked about earlier. I think you may find it interesting. Please take a moment to visit the FlagFranchise blogs. Also follow us on the different social medias below. GCG Franchise Inc. is a franchising services consulting firm. Its founder, Pierre Garceau, works mainly on projects in Canada as a strategic advisor to different franchise networks. The mission of the Conseil québécois de la franchise is to promote franchising as a performing business model among Quebec entrepreneurs and at the governmental level. And though its Académie de la franchise, CQF, also provides training on various aspects of franchising. Founded in 2008, Himalaya Real Estate Agency is a leader on the real estate market in Quebec, Canada, and around the world. It is Himalaya's international network of contacts, vast knowledge of real estate transactions, integrity, and keen sense of customer service that attract clients from various backgrounds. The agency specializes in commercial, including franchisee, residential, and industrial sectors. Fasken is a leading international law firm with offices in Montreal, Quebec City, and other major cities in Canada, with some of the best specialists in franchising, networking, and distribution. Fasken puts its vast expertise and skills at your service to give you access to the best tools, the best advice, the best contracts, the best structures, and the best resources to manage and develop your network, both in Quebec and internationally, to make the most of opportunities, to protect your know-how, your concept, your reputation, and your rights, and to resolve issues and settle differences. Stratica is a strategic consulting business that helps to build partnerships between businesses and organizations in Canada and Mexico. Stratica's founder, Manuel Ribeiro, also prepared the Spanish version of this toolkit. Totem is a consulting firm that designed a unique approach to support and assist business leaders looking to improve their organizational efficiency. Totem's key expertise includes strategic outsourcing solutions, implementation of best business practices, optimization of existing processes, as well as performance improvement and human capital solutions. If you have any questions or need help to complete your profile or to understand your compatibility report, give us a call to set up a phone consultation with one of our experts. Thank you for your attention and good luck in your business endeavors. I would like to remind you that our business matching platform is free for entrepreneurs who wish to find their perfect fit in franchising, and all questions and answers are confidential.